So paint me a picture then. If my relative was in a care home
Mm.
and he was coming to see the barber, what happens? Are they just sit on the chair? I know they're
Oh
not.
no,
I know they're not,
no,
but I
no.
want.
It is very much it's we take every gent as they come. So we like to get from the carers a little bit of backstory from them. So I ask the carers, tell us a little bit about Bob, for example.
Yeah,
Tell us what he used to do before he retired. We try and make it as person centered as possible. So it's really important that they feel like an individual in the care home, because sometimes and this is through no fault of any care homes, sometimes men can they're cared for, but there's carers don't have enough time in the day really to sit and listen to their stories each and every day. So it's important that we understand what they used to do. Do they have family and things like that, so we can ask them the right questions. And I think a really important part of what we do is the consultation. So we like to ask gents, how did you have your hair when you was 20 or 30? So that consultation period is really important.
yeah.
Saying, hey, a really funny moment actually. It's a gentleman used to have a mohawk. He was a gentleman in a care home in Manchester, and he used to be a mod. He used to ride motorcycles when he was younger, and he said, "Do you know what? I would love to have a mohawk again." And
Yeah.
believe it or not, we created that mohawk for him.
That's
Yeah,
amazing. I love
and
that.
that's an important part. So the consultation is asking them, how did you have your hair? Can we recreate a certain memory for you? And
Yeah.
for that gentleman, we did. He probably took him back to him riding his motorcycle through the town centre with his friends and things like
Yeah.
that. And that's what a haircut can do for somebody.
Yeah.
So the conversation is really important. But we sit them in a chair, we put the music on. We get to talking with them, have a bit of a laugh, put them at ease as well. It's really important to build trust instantly, so make them feel comfortable, make them feel listened to and heard, and then we have the haircuts. And like I said, we can't disclose the conversations that take place in the barbershop because they are. Yes, some of them can be very interesting to say the least. But
Good.
it's really important that we make each visit to the barbershop and to our, especially our barber therapy, an individual approach. And
I think
it's
what I'm getting from it is like it's a whole experience. It's
yes,
not just another task. You're not
yeah,
going in just to cut hair. You're giving this whole experience. And on the
hmm
back of that, though, you are also supporting, probably they might not realize it, but supporting the staff within the care home by, you're having that opportunity to
hmm
spend that time with them,
hmm
where if they are feeling like their role is
hmm
heavily task based, you are able to do that and then maybe feedback certain things, that's come up
absolutely.
during that conversation. Go, oh, today's been really focused on this. So maybe you want to, look at this later on, or talking to them about this, and find out things that they might not know.
Absolutely. I'd like to think that we are barbers first, but we are carers second, because we care for these gents just as much as the care staff that are on the floor with them every day.
Mm.
When our barbers go into these care homes, to them, they are another carer for that day. And I'd like to do a piece of research around kind of, because we see these men coming out, and I'm sure you see a lot of agitated men in care homes, especially when they live with dementia. They become irritable at times, they become distressed and things like that. And I think I'd like to see just really the impact that we have once we've gone on whether
Yeah.
they're, certain behaviors settle. I think for us, we're there for the day and then we don't see them again for another 2 to 4 weeks. And so
Yeah.
I'd really like to understand whether actually do we see an uptick or a downtick in certain behaviors and things like that. So it'd be an interesting piece of work to do. But for us, and I tell all my barbers, make sure that we are barbers first, but we're also carers, and treat them how you treat your own grandfather or your own uncle or your own father when you're in that chair.
Yeah. So that research piece is now going on your long to-do list of
Oh, it just keeps
things that
getting
are coming.
it keeps getting
No.
longer. It keeps getting longer.
But it's exciting, right? So I'm just thinking about the gentleman with the mohawk, and I've got this
Yes.
image of him leaving the barbers that day with this kind
Yeah.
of swagger about him, thinking, "Watch me
Yeah.
go and talk to these chicks in this care home now."
Absolutely.
What
Absolutely.